Today, we're going to tackle a really big question. What does it actually take to build a healthy, thriving family? It's a question that can feel, well, pretty overwhelming. We see a million different parenting styles out there, and it's so easy to get lost. But what if there was a simple, practical blueprint? Not some rigid set of rules, but more like a guide to the core principles that make a family feel like a safe, loving, and supportive team. Well, that's exactly what we're building today. So let's dive right in.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever been watching your family? Maybe it's during a tense dinner or a difficult conversation, and you get that little sinking feeling, that quiet thought that just creeps in and says, "Oh, we do that. Is that is that a problem?" It can just fill you with this wave of anxiety, right? And maybe even a little frustration as you wonder not just if it's a problem, but what on earth you're supposed to do about it.
Okay, if you've ever had those thoughts, I really want you to hear this. That is a good thing. Seriously. It doesn't mean you're failing as a parent. It means you're a reflective, loving parent who cares enough to look closely. Recognizing a potential problem isn't the end of the road. It's the absolute first, most courageous step on the path to healing and growth. So today, we're not just going to sit here and dwell on the problems. We're going to build a solution. And look, this is not about creating a perfect family, because let's be real, that doesn't exist. This is about having a practical blueprint. We're going to explore 4 key pillars that answer the big questions, like how do we build deep emotional connection? How do we set boundaries that are firm but also fair? How do we foster a real mindset of growth? And maybe the most important one, how do we make sure love is a tangible, flowing force in our home? So what really defines a healthy family? It's definitely not the size of your house or the car you drive. It's about a set of inner flowing qualities. In this blueprint, we're going to explore 4 core characteristics that act as the perfect antidote to some of the most common family struggles, whether that's the sting of emotional neglect, the stress of high-pressure control, or the chaos of, just letting everything slide. All right, let's lay the first stone of our foundation. Pillar number 1, emotional connection. This is our direct answer to the challenge of emotional neglect. And it's not just about spending time together. It's about creating high-quality emotional bonds that give your child a deep, unshakable sense of security they can carry with them for their entire life. A huge idea here is this concept of being an emotional container. It's a powerful term, right? But what does it actually mean in the day-to-day messiness of family life? Well, it means that when your child is just overwhelmed with big feelings, anger, sadness, frustration, you resist that urge to immediately fix it or dismiss it or punish them for it. Instead, you create a safe space where those feelings can just be, without any judgment. And this, right here, this shows it perfectly. 2 responses to the exact same situation. A child fails a test. On one side, you have the neglectful response, which just dismisses the feeling and jumps straight to the problem. But look at the connected response. It validates the emotion first. It communicates, I see you, I'm with you, and your feelings are welcome here. This simple shift might seem small in the moment, but over the years, this is how you build massive, lasting trust. Your feelings are more important than what you did. Just let that sink in for a second. When a child truly deeply gets this message, they develop this profound sense of security. They know that no matter what mistake they make or what failure they face out in the world, home is always their safe harbor. And that security, that's exactly what gives them the courage to go out and bravely explore the world in the first place. All right, so once that foundation of connection is in place, we need some walls. Not to keep people out, but to create structure and safety. This brings us to pillar number 2, clear boundaries. Now, what's so fascinating is that high-pressure control and chaotic indulgence, they seem like total opposites, right? But they both come from the exact same root problem, a lack of clear, healthy boundaries. And this chart illustrates that spectrum perfectly. On one extreme, you've got high-pressure control, where the parent's anxieties and desires just invade the child's space, dictating their every move. Then, on the other end, you've got chaotic indulgence, where the child's whims and demands invade the parent's space with zero structure or limits. The goal is this healthy, thriving middle ground, where clear boundaries and mutual respect create a space for everyone to breathe and grow. So, how do we find that middle ground? It really boils down to a pretty simple formula: respect plus rules. Respect means truly seeing your child as a separate person, knocking before you enter their room, genuinely listening to their ideas, even if you disagree. And the rules, they aren't top-down commands. They're more like family laws that you establish together. And here's the kicker. Execution has to be gentle but firm, and parents have to follow the rules too. That's what makes the boundaries feel fair and real. Okay, so once we have connection and boundaries, we can move to our third pillar, which is all about the mental atmosphere of the home. A lot of high-pressure homes run on a fixed mindset, that kind of toxic belief that talent is just something you're born with. You're either smart or you're not. Well, the powerful antidote to this is actively building a growth mindset within the entire family. And here is a perfect, practical example of how that works. When we praise talent, when we say, "You're so smart," after a good grade, we're accidentally teaching a child that success is about some innate quality they can't control. So what happens when they fail? They think, well, I guess I'm not smart. But when we praise the process, the effort, the strategies they used, we teach them that success comes from things they can control. This is how you build real resilience and a love of learning, not just a love of winning.
I just absolutely love this metaphor. As parents, our job isn't to be the engineer who designs and builds our child's entire life according to our own blueprint. Our role is to be the scaffolding. We provide the sturdy support, the safety net, and the reliable structure that allows them to build their own unique, amazing life, floor by floor in their own way.
And finally, we get to the pillar that holds everything else up. Strong connection, clear boundaries, and a growth mindset. They are all absolutely essential. But they have to exist in an environment where love isn't just a word, but a visible, active, and flowing energy. This is really the power source for the entire family system. In this, love flows through these distinct channels. It really has to start with the partners. A child's greatest sense of security often comes from seeing the love and respect between the two people they love most. From there, it flows outward, towards elders with gratitude and respect. And finally, it circulates throughout the whole family in simple daily acts, a heartfelt thank you, a sincere apology, and those shared rituals that bind us all together. It's a constant life-giving current. So let's bring our whole blueprint together. We've gone from just identifying potential problems to actually building a clear, actionable plan. A plan for raising kids who aren't just successful by some outside standard, but who are truly well-rounded, resilient, and totally secure in who they are. And here it is, all in one place. Be your child's secure base through emotional connection. Be their firm but gentle guide with clear boundaries. Be the supportive scaffolding for their life with a growth mindset. And be the family's gardener, constantly tending to the flow of love that nourishes everything. All right, now it's your turn for a little self-reflection. Looking at these 4 pillars, which one feels like a real strength in your family right now? And be honest with yourself, which one might be an area that could use a little more attention? And remember, there's no judgment here. This is not a test. This is just about taking that powerful first step of awareness. We would genuinely love to hear from you. This journey of building a family is something so many of us are on together. So head down to the comments and share one thing that's working well for you, or maybe one pillar you're planning to focus on. Your insights could be exactly what another parent needs to hear today. And of course, if this blueprint was valuable to you, please make sure you subscribe. We're always putting out new explainers designed to give you clear, practical insights for building a better, more meaningful life. Thanks so much for joining us today and for doing the important work of building something truly special.